Welcome to the Growth Mindset Center, YouTube. Please, take a moment of your precious time and generosity to click the subscribe button, comment. Thank you very much. Please listen to the next great content. Why do the most successful people say the least while doing the most? Growth in silence is the strongest kind of transformation. Quiet work behind the scenes builds loud results in life. Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time in life when you have to make a decision either to continue living for the approval of others or to shift your energy inward and build yourself into something unstoppable. The truth is, most people are too busy watching others, comparing themselves, or seeking validation. But the moment you break free from that cycle and focus entirely on yourself, you will shock everyone around you. There comes a point in life when you must decide whether to keep seeking approval or to break free and build yourself into something unstoppable. Most people spend their lives worrying about what others think, constantly seeking validation, trying to fit in and hoping to be accepted. But the truth is, the moment you stop living for the expectations of others and start focusing entirely on yourself, everything changes. Your energy shifts, your mindset transforms, and without even trying, you begin to shock everyone around you. The reason most people never reach their full potential is simple. They are too distracted. They are caught up in the opinions of others, weighed down by the expectations placed upon them, and constantly looking around instead of looking within, but true. Success, real transformation happens only when you shift your focus inward. You have to make the decision to prioritize yourself, your growth, your learning, and your progress, because at the end of the day, nobody is going to live your life for you. Nobody else is responsible for making you successful. It's up to you. Most people are judged based on their past, not their potential. People will look at you and assume that who you were yesterday is all you can ever be. They see your past mistakes, your past failures, and they assume that's where your story, but they don't see what's inside you. They don't see the untapped potential, the strength, the discipline, and the determination that lies within. That's why you have to stop living for their approval. Because if you keep trying to prove yourself to those who refuse to believe in you, you will only waste your energy instead. Let your results speak. Let your growth be the response. Some people talk about success, but you are willing to commit to the process because success doesn't happen by accident. It's not luck. It's not some magical moment where everything falls into place. Success is built in silence. It happens when no one is watching. It happens when you are disciplined enough to wake up early, to put in the extra effort to keep going, even when you don't feel like it. That's the difference between those who achieve great things and those who only dream about them. People will doubt you. That is guaranteed. They will question your abilities, mock your ambitions, and assume you will never make it. But here's the secret. Doubt is fuel every time someone tells you that you can't do something. Let that be a reason to push even harder, not to argue, not to seek validation, but to prove them wrong through your actions. The best way to silence the doubt, is not with words, but with results. When they see your progress, when they witness your transformation, they won't have anything left to say. The biggest mistake you can make is spending too much time focusing on others instead of focusing on yourself. Too many people waste their energy comparing themselves to others, measuring their success based on someone else's journey, or feeling behind because they see someone else doing better. But here's what you need to understand. Your only competition is the person you were yesterday. The only thing that truly matters is whether you are growing, whether you are improving, whether you are becoming better every single day. Because when you focus on yourself, everything else falls into place. There will be a time when you have to embrace solitude. This is the phase where the real work happens. It's uncomfortable, it's lonely, and it's challenging, but it is necessary. If you are constantly surrounded by distractions, constantly seeking approval, constantly caught up in unnecessary drama, you will never have the time or energy to build yourself. That's why the most successful people have a period of isolation, a time when they step away from the noise, cut off distractions, and dedicate themselves fully to growth. It's in these moments that your transformation begins. Many people think success comes in big dramatic moments, but in reality, success is built through small, consistent actions. It's not about making one big move, it's about showing up every single day, even when no one is watching. It's about making better choices, developing stronger habits, and being disciplined enough to stay on. Track the results. Don't come overnight. But if you stay committed, if you keep putting in the work one day, you will look back and realize that you have become a completely different person. And the best part, everyone who doubted you, everyone who underestimated you will be shocked when you focus on yourself. You become an example of what's possible. You don't just improve your own life, you inspire others to do the same. People will start asking, how did you do it? What changed? And the answer is simple. You stopped wasting time on things that didn't matter, and you put all your energy into becoming the best version of yourself. You stopped seeking validation, and instead you built confidence from within. You stopped watching others, and instead you focused on your own journey. So the question is, are you ready to shock the world? Are you ready to silence the doubts, ignore the distractions, and focus entirely on yourself? Because the moment you do, your life will never be the same. The choice is yours. Focus on yourself and watch how everything changes. Most people spend their lives trying to be noticed, trying to prove themselves, trying to get recognition from those who hardly even pay attention. They post about their plans before they execute, they announce their moves before they make them, and they seek validation before they even accomplish anything. But the truth is, success doesn't come from making noise, it comes from working in silence. The most powerful transformations happen when no one is watching. The people who shock the world aren't the ones constantly talking about their goals. They are the ones quietly putting in the work. Staying consistent and allowing their results to speak for themselves. Think about the most successful people in any field. They don't waste time explaining their every move. They don't argue with doubters or try to convince others of their worth. Instead, they focus all their energy on becoming better, stronger, and more disciplined. And one day, without warning, they emerge transformed. While everyone else was talking, they were working while others were distracted. They were building, and when they finally reveal what they've been working on, the world is left in shock. That is the power of silence. That is the power of letting your results do the talking. The biggest mistake people make is thinking that success comes from external validation. They believe that if they talk about their dreams enough, if they tell the world how hard they're working, if they constantly remind people of their ambitions, they will gain respect. But respect isn't given, it's earned, and it's not earned through words. It's earned through action. You don't need to tell people you're working hard. They will see it in your results. You don't need to explain why you're different. They will notice it in your discipline. The more you talk, the more energy you waste. And every ounce of energy spent on proving yourself to others is energy taken away from actually improving yourself. One of the most powerful things you can do is move in silence. While others are seeking attention, you should be focused on your craft. While they are trying to impress, you should be trying to improve. Because when you develop a habit of silent discipline, you remove all distractions. You stop worrying about opinions, you stop caring about immediate recognition, and instead you focus entirely on progress. That's when real growth happens. The world is full of people who make promises but never follow through. They start projects but never finish. They set goals but never take action. And because they announce their plans too soon, they feel satisfied before they even begin. But those who truly succeed know that the real work happens behind closed door. They know that the grind, the discipline, the sacrifice, none of it needs an audience. They are not driven by the need for applause. They are driven by the desire to become the best version of themselves. Silence is powerful because it eliminates pressure when you tell people your plans. You invite their opinions, their doubts, their criticisms, and sometimes that doubt can plant seeds of hesitation in your own mind. But when you keep your goals to yourself, when you operate in silence, you remove all external interference. You give yourself the freedom to experiment, to fail, to adjust, to grow. Without the weight of other people's expectations, you become free to move at your own pace, to make decisions based on your own vision, and to create a future that is entirely yours. There's something incredibly powerful about surprising people with your success. When you quietly work on yourself, when you stay consistent without announcing it, when you focus entirely on progress without seeking recognition, people don't see it coming. One day they look at you, and you're no longer the same person. You've grown stronger, you've become wiser, you've developed skills they never thought you could master, and by the time they realize what's happened, it's already too late to doubt you. The best way to gain respect is to stop trying to earn it and start proving it through results. If you want people to take you seriously, don't tell them why they should show them. If you want to be recognized for your work, don't talk about how much effort you're putting in. Let the adults speak for themselves. The people who make the biggest impact in this world are not the ones who talk about what they're going to do. They are the ones who actually do it every time you are tempted to prove yourself. Remind yourself of this. Your success will be your voice. Your results will be your response. Instead of seeking validation, seek progress. Instead of announcing your next move, make it in silence. Because when you finally reveal what you've been building, no words will be necessary. The world will see the transformation and they will be shocked. Most people go through life living for the opinions of others. They seek approval. They crave validation. And they want to be acknowledged for their efforts before they've even achieved anything. But the truth is, the moment you start focusing on yourself and stop seeking recognition, that's when real transformation happens. People waste so much time worrying about what others think, whether they are being noticed or if their work is being appreciated. They get caught up in a cycle of seeking external validation, which ultimately slows them down and keeps them from reaching their full potential. But when you shift your focus inward, when you stop worrying about impressing others and instead focus on becoming the best version of yourself, you begin to unlock a power that most people will never understand. There is something incredibly powerful about working in silence. When you stop broadcasting your every move, when you no longer feel the need to explain yourself, when you put all of your energy into self-improvement rather than self-promotion, people start to notice, not because you told them to, but because your results speak for themselves. And the best part, by the time they realize what you've been doing, it's already too late for them to doubt you. That's how you shock everyone, by becoming so focused on your own growth that your transformation becomes undeniable. Most people are distracted. They waste their energy on things that don't serve them. They compare themselves to others. They constantly look around to see how they measure up. But the moment you decide that none of that matters, that the only competition you have is the person you were yesterday, that's when everything changes. Because instead of trying to be better than someone else, you're trying to be better than your past self. That mindset shift is what separates those who succeed from those who stay stagnant. When you focus on yourself, on your growth, on your discipline, and on your vision, you become unstoppable. You don't have to announce your plans. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You don't need approval. You just need to execute every day. While others are talking, you are working. While they are looking for attention, you are looking for progress. While they are waiting to be validated, you are validating yourself through action. And over time, all of that effort compounds your skills, improve your confidence, grows your results, start to show, and suddenly the people who doubted you the ones who ignored you, the ones who didn't take you seriously. Now they are paying attention, but not because you asked them to, not because you begged for their approval, but because your transformation left them. No choice. Success isn't about making noise, it's about making progress. It's about showing up every single day and putting in the work. Whether anyone sees it or not, it's about setting goals, staying disciplined, and pushing forward no matter what obstacles come your way. It's about building yourself up in silence so that when the time comes, your results speak so loudly that no words are needed. They want immediate recognition. They want to be acknowledged for their effort. But by the way, you shock the world, not by being made to them, but by acknowledging themselves and their effort to you. Is that good? The problem with most people is that they want to be acknowledged for their effort before they've even achieved anything. They seek applause before they've delivered a performance. But the ones who truly make an impact in this world don't need an audience while they work. They are driven by something deeper than approval. They are driven by the desire to be great, to reach their full potential, to maximize every ounce of talent and ability they've been given. And because they are so focused on the process, success becomes inevitable. There will always be people who doubt you. There will always be those who don't believe in you, who question your abilities, who think you won't make it. But their opinions are irrelevant. What matters is what you do in response. Will you let their doubts slow you down? Will you waste time trying to prove them wrong, or will you stay focused, put your head down, and continue building yourself until they have no choice but to acknowledge your success? The greatest revenge is massive success. Not through words, not through arguments, but through undeniable achievement. When you focus on yourself, something incredible happens. You stop seeking validation and you start creating results. You stop being distracted and you start becoming disciplined. You stop caring about who's watching and you start caring about how far you can push yourself. And once you develop that kind of focus, the world has no choice but to take notice. So forget about trying to impress people. Forget about trying to prove your worth. Forget about looking for approval. Just do the work. Just keep improving. Just stay consistent. And one day you'll wake up and realize that while everyone else was busy talking while they were busy, doubting while they were wasting time, seeking attention, you were busy becoming the person they never expected you to be. And that is how you shock everyone, by becoming so great that they have no choice. But to respect you, most people spend their lives seeking validation from others, hoping to be recognized, waiting for approval, and constantly worrying about what people think. They hesitate to take action because they are afraid of judgment. They hold themselves back because they want to be accepted. They share their plans with everyone expecting encouragement, but often receive criticism or doubt. Instead, this cycle keeps them trapped, stagnant, and unable to reach their full potential. But the moment you stop caring about what others think and focus entirely on yourself, you set yourself free. That is when real growth begins. That is when you start to unlock a power that most people will never experience. The truth is, success is not about being liked or understood. It is about doing the work, staying disciplined, and continuously pushing yourself beyond your limits. Too many people waste their energy trying to explain their vision to those who will never understand it. They feel the need to justify their choices, to prove themselves, to convince others that they are on the right path. But the most successful people don't waste time seeking approval. They don't look for reassurance. They don't need permission. They move in silence. Focus on their craft and let their results do the talking when you make the decision to focus on yourself. Everything changes. You stop comparing yourself to others. You stop worrying about who is ahead or behind you. Realize that your only competition is the person you were yesterday. This shift in mindset is what separates those who achieve greatness from those who remain average. The people who shock the world are not the ones constantly talking about their plans. They are the ones who put their heads down and get to work while everyone else is distracted by opinions, gossip, and noise. They are building, improving, and transforming. And by the time others notice, the change is undeniable. The reason why focusing on yourself is so powerful is that it forces you to take complete ownership of your life. No more excuses, no more blaming circumstances or other people, no more waiting for opportunities. You realize that your success is entirely in your hands. If you want to improve, you put in the effort. If you want to change, you take action. If you want a better life, you create it. And in doing so, you become unstoppable. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to prove themselves to others too soon. They announce their goals before they've even started working. They seek applause before they've accomplished anything. They look for approval before they've developed the discipline to stay consistent. But real success doesn't happen that way. The people who truly make an impact are the ones who build in silence. They don't talk about what they're going to do, they just do it. They don't seek recognition for their efforts. They let the results speak for themselves. And when the results finally come, they don't need to say a word because their transformation is proof enough. Most people don't understand the power of discipline. They want quick results, instant gratification and immediate success. But anything worthwhile takes time. It takes patience. It takes commitment. It requires sacrificing temporary comfort for long-term growth. The people who truly succeed are not the ones who start strong and give up. When things get hard, they are the ones who stay consistent, who show up every day, who push forward. Even when no one is watching, they don't need motivation from others, because their motivation comes from within. They are driven by their own desire to improve, to grow, and to achieve their highest potential. The world is full of distractions, opinions, trends, social media, and endless noise trying to pull your attention away from what really matters. But when you learn to block out the noise and focus entirely on yourself, you become unstoppable. You start to make progress faster than ever before. Your skills improve, your confidence grows, your mindset strengthens, and before you know it, you have completely transformed into a person that no one expected you to become. That is how you shock everyone. Not by talking, not by explaining, but by becoming the best version of yourself and letting your success do all the talking. There will always be people who doubt you. There will always be those who don't believe in you, who question your abilities, who think you won't make it. But their opinions mean nothing. They are irrelevant. What truly matters is what you do in response. Will you let their doubts hold you back? Will you waste time trying to prove them wrong? Or will you stay focused, work in silence, and continue growing until they have no choice but to recognize your Sue? The greatest revenge is massive success. Not through words, not through arguments, but through undeniable results. The day you stop seeking approval is the day you become truly powerful. You no longer care about fitting in. You no longer fear judgment. You no longer need validation. You are free to create, to build, to grow without limitations. And that kind of freedom is rare. Most people will never experience it because they are too busy trying to please everyone else. But when you choose to focus on yourself, you break free from that trap. You step into a level of self-mastery that most people will never understand. So stop explaining, stop proving, stop seeking approval. Just focus on yourself. Get better every single day. Improve your skills, strengthen your mindset, push yourself beyond what you thought was possible. And one day when you least expect it, you will wake up and realize that you have become the person you always wanted to be. And the best part the world will notice, they will be shocked, not because you told them to pay attention, but because your results made it impossible to ignore. Most people go through life unaware of the true power that lies within them. They move through their days, distracted, caught up in the expectations of others, seeking approval, and constantly comparing themselves to the world around them. They live in a cycle of self-doubt, waiting for the right time, the right circumstances, or the right validation to finally take action. But the truth is, nothing changes until you decide to shift your focus inward until you decide that your energy is best spent on improving yourself rather than worrying about what anyone else thinks. The moment you make yourself your number one priority, everything begins to change. You stop wasting time on things that don't serve you. You stop engaging in conversations that drain your energy. You stop trying to prove yourself to people who will never understand your vision. You begin to take control of your thoughts, your habits, and your mindset. And when you do this, you start to see results. You become sharper, stronger, and more disciplined. And without even trying, you start to shock the very people who once doubted you the most successful. Individuals in the world didn't get there by seeking approval. They didn't wait for permission to chase their dreams. They didn't sit around hoping that someone would come along and push them in the right direction. They took matters into their own hands. They became obsessed with self-improvement, with growth, with becoming the best version of themselves, and because of that, they left their doubter speechless. They didn't have to explain themselves or prove their worth through words. They let their transformation do all. The talking, focusing on yourself means removing all unnecessary distractions. It means setting boundaries. It means prioritizing your goals over temporary pleasure. Means waking up every day with the intention to be better than you were yesterday. It means eliminating toxic relationships, cutting off negative influences, and refusing to be around people who bring you down. It means taking responsibility for your actions, your choices, and your future. And when you do this, when you commit to the process of self-improvement, the results become undeniable. Most people don't understand the power of consistency. They start with enthusiasm, but give up. When they don't see immediate results ads, they look at successful people and assume they got there overnight without realizing the years of dedication, sacrifice, and discipline that it took. The truth is, success isn't about talent alone. It's about discipline. It's about showing up every day, putting in the work, and refusing to quit, no matter how hard things get. And when you adopt this mindset, you start to separate yourself from the crowd. You start to achieve things that others only dream of. There will be people who don't believe in you. There will be those who mock your efforts, who criticize your choices, who try to bring you down, but their words don't matter. Their opinions are irrelevant because while they are busy talking, you are busy working. While they are watching and waiting for you to fail, you are growing, improving, and getting stronger. And one day, when they least expect it, you will rise so high that they will have no choice but to acknowledge your success. But you must understand that this journey is not easy. It requires patience. It requires sacrifice. It requires the ability to block out the noise and stay focused on your own path. You will face obstacles. You will experience setbacks. You will have moments of doubt. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is the ability to keep going even when things get tough. The people who truly shock the world are the ones who refuse to quit, who keep pushing forward no matter what stands in their way. When you focus on yourself, you begin to unlock your true potential. You start to discover strengths you never knew you had. You develop skills that set you apart. You gain confidence that makes you unstoppable. You stop looking for shortcuts and instead embrace the process of growth. And as you continue to improve, people start to take notice. They see the transformation, they see the discipline, and they realize that you are no longer the person they once knew. Success isn't about proving people wrong. It's about proving yourself, right? It's about knowing deep down that you are capable of greatness and taking the necessary steps to achieve it. It's about becoming so focused on your own growth that you don't even have time to worry about what others think. And when you reach this level of self-mastery, you become untouchable. No amount of criticism can shake you. No amount of doubt can slow you down. You are too busy building, creating, and evolving to be concerned with the opinions of others. The most powerful thing you can do is focus on yourself and become the best version of who you were meant to be. Stop explaining your plans. Stop seeking validation. Stop waiting for the right moment. The time to start is now. Get disciplined, get focused, work harder than ever before, and when the results finally come, when you to have transformed into the person you were destined to become. You won't need to say a word, because your success will speak for itself. There is an undeniable power that comes from focusing on yourself in a world that constantly demands your attention, where distractions pull you in 100 different directions. The ability to turn inward and dedicate yourself to personal growth is rare. Most people are so caught up in seeking validation, impressing others, and proving themselves that they never take the time to truly invest in their own journey. But when you decide to shift your focus to prioritize your own progress over external opinions, everything changes. You become stronger, sharper, more disciplined. And without even trying, you begin to shock everyone around you. At first, people may not understand your decision to focus on yourself. They may question why you are no longer as available, why you don't engage in meaningless conversations, why you spend so much time working on your goals. They may even try to discourage you, telling you that you're wasting your time or that your efforts won't pay off, but that is because they do not see the vision you have for yourself. They don't understand the fire burning inside of you, the determination that drives you forward. They are used to people settling for mediocrity, so when they see someone striving for greatness, it unsettles them most. People go through life avoiding discomfort. They choose the easy path because it requires the least resistance. But those who truly succeed are the ones who embrace the challenge. They push themselves beyond their limits, knowing that real growth comes from struggle. They wake up early when others are still sleeping. They work on their craft. While others are wasting time, they read, learn, and develop new skills. While others are distracted by entertainment, and eventually all of that effort compounds, leading to results that others can't ignore with. When you commit to yourself, when you make personal growth your highest priority, you begin to see changes, not just in your abilities, but in your entire mindset. You stop making excuses. You stop blaming circumstances. You stop allowing fear to dictate your decisions. Instead, you develop an unshakable belief in your own potential. You realize that everything you need to succeed is already within you. All it takes is discipline, consistency, and the willingness to keep pushing forward. Even when it gets hard, the journey of self-improvement is not always easy. There will be moments of doubt, moments where you question whether all the effort is worth it. There will be days when you feel exhausted, discouraged, and tempted to quit. But that is where most people fail. They give up too soon, they expect instant results, and when they don't see immediate success, they abandon their goals. But those who truly shock the world are the ones who persist. They keep going even when no one is watching, even when the progress seems slow. They understand that success is not about sudden breakthroughs, but about consistent, disciplined effort over time. There is something powerful about proving to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever imagined when you dedicate yourself to growth. When you commit to becoming the best version of yourself, you begin to tap into a strength that most people never experience. You develop resilience, you build mental toughness, you stop being swayed by external opinions because you know your worth is not determined by what others think, but by what you create, by what you achieve, by how much you grow. The people who once doubted you, the ones who dismissed your efforts or laughed at your dreams, will eventually have no choice but to recognize your success. They will see the transformation, the undeniable results of your dedication, and they will be shocked. But by then their opinions won't matter anymore, because you will have moved so far beyond them that their validation is irrelevant. You will have built a life that speaks for itself, a level of success that needs no explanation. This is why you must be relentless in your pursuit of growth. You must be willing to do the hard things, to sacrifice temporary comfort for long-term rewards. You must have the courage to walk alone if necessary, to distance yourself from negativity, to create an environment that fosters success. It may mean spending less time with people who don't share your vision. It may mean cutting out distractions, limiting social media, and choosing to be intentional about how you spend your time. There will always be people who try to pull you back, who don't understand your commitment to self-improvement, but their limitations do not have to be yours. Their small thinking does not have to define your potential. You were meant for more. You were meant to rise, to grow, to evolve into someone far greater than you were yesterday, and the only way to do that is to stay focused, to be disciplined, to refuse to let anything or anyone take you off course. Success is not about luck or talent, it is about focus, it is about where you choose to direct your energy every single day. And the moment you decide to prioritize yourself, to invest in your future, to put in the work, you will begin to see the difference. You will develop skills that set you apart. You will build confidence that makes you unstoppable. You will gain a sense of purpose that fuels you every day. And soon the world will take notice. People may not believe in you at first. They may not understand your journey, but that does not matter. What matters is that you believe in yourself, that you stay committed to your goals, that you never lose sight of the vision you have for your life. Because when you do that, when you stay focused and keep pushing forward, the results will be undeniable. And in the end, your success will be the only answer you need. There comes a time in life when you must make a choice to stop worrying about what others think, to stop seeking validation, and to focus entirely on yourself. It is in this moment that your transformation begins. Most people spend their lives living according to the expectations of others, constantly trying to fit in, to be accepted, to be liked. But the truth is, the moment you stop chasing approval and start focusing on your own growth, you shift from being someone who is controlled by external circumstances to someone who takes full control of their destiny. When you truly focus on yourself, something incredible happens. You stop wasting energy on things that do not serve you. You stop engaging in meaningless conversations. Stop worrying about the opinions of people who contribute nothing to your success, and stop allowing distractions to steal your time. Instead, you direct all that energy toward improving yourself. You read more, you learn new skills. You develop discipline and you become more aware of your goals. You begin to grow mentally, emotionally, and physically. And as a result, you become a completely different person. At first, people may not understand what is happening. They will notice that you have changed. They will see that you no longer react the way you used to, that you are no longer as available as before, that you are not wasting time on gossip or negativity. Some will be curious, some will be supportive, but others will feel threatened. They will try to bring you back to the person you once were, because your growth forces them to confront their own stagnation. They are used to seeing you at their level, and when you begin to rise, it makes them uncomfortable. But that is not your problem. You are not here to make others feel comfortable. You are here to grow, to evolve, to become the best version of yourself. You do not need permission to improve. You do not need approval to succeed. The only validation you need is the one that comes from within. The quiet confidence that tells you that you are on the right path, that you are making progress, that you are becoming stronger every day. The journey of focusing on yourself is not always easy. There will be moments of doubt, moments of loneliness, moments when you question whether it is all worth it. But these are the moments that separate those who truly succeed from those who give up. Most people quit when things get difficult. They look for shortcuts, for easy solutions, for a way to escape the discomfort of growth. But those who truly make an impact, those who shock the world with their success, are the ones who keep going no matter what they understand, that growth comes with challenges, that transformation requires struggle, and that nothing worth having comes easy every day. You must wake up with a purpose. You must remind yourself why you started, what you are working toward, and why you cannot afford to stop you. Must be disciplined with your time, intentional with your actions, and ruthless in eliminating anything that does not align with your goals. It may mean waking up earlier, working harder, saying no to distractions, and surrounding yourself with people who inspire you. Instead of draining you when you commit to yourself fully, you start to see results. You become more confident, more capable, more resilient. You develop a mindset that cannot be shaken by setbacks, criticism, or doubt you. Start to create opportunities. Instead of waiting for them, you begin to attract success naturally because your energy, your presence, and your focus set you apart from the rest. And then something interesting happens. The very people who once doubted you, who questioned your decisions, who thought you were wasting your time, they begin to take notice. They see your progress, your achievements, your transformation, and suddenly their attitude changes. Some will be inspired, some will be surprised, and some will be envious, but by then, their opinions will no longer matter to you. You will have outgrown the need for their approval because you will have built something greater, a life that speaks for itself. This is the power of focusing on yourself. It is not about proving anything to others. It is about proving to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. It is about setting a standard for your own life and refusing to settle for anything less. It is about becoming the kind of person who commands respect, not because they seek it, but because they embody it. You must understand that success is not about luck or talent alone. It is about commitment, discipline, and an unwavering focus on self-improvement. It is about making the conscious decision every single day to be better than you were yesterday. It is about knowing that you have the power to shape your future, that you are not a victim of circumstances, but a creator of your own destiny. There will always be people who do not believe in you. There will always be those who try to discourage you, who tell you that you are wasting your time, who doubt your abilities, but their words have no power. Unless you give them power, the only opinion that truly matters is your own. The only voice you should listen to is the one inside you that tells you to keep going, to keep pushing, to never settle. You are capable of more than you think you, that have potential beyond what you can currently see, but you will never tap into that potential if you are constantly distracted by what others are doing or saying. Your energy is too valuable to be wasted on things that do not contribute to your growth. Focus on yourself, stay consistent, and watch how the world reacts. When you become someone they never expected, your success will be the only answer you need. There is an undeniable power in silence, in working on yourself without seeking validation, without announcing your plans, and without asking for permission. The greatest transformations happen when you shift your focus entirely on yourself, not on proving anything to anyone, not on competing with others, but on becoming the best version of yourself for your own growth and fulfillment. Too often, people live their lives seeking the approval of others, constantly explaining themselves, sharing their every move and looking for reassurance, but true power comes when you no longer feel the need to do any of that. When you realize that your growth does not require an audience, your progress does not need an announcement, and your success does not need validation, you begin to rise in ways you never imagined. The people who achieve the most in life are not the ones who spend their time talking about their plans. They are the ones who take action in silence, who work in the shadows, who commit to their goals without making a spectacle of it, because the truth is, not everyone needs to know what you are working on. Not everyone will understand your vision. Not everyone will support you. Some people will pretend to be happy for you while secretly hoping you fail. Others will try to plant seeds of doubt in your mind, making you question your abilities and your dreams. This is why focusing on yourself, keeping your journey private, and letting your results do. The talking is one of the most powerful things you can do. When you focus entirely on yourself, your inner energy shifts. You are no longer wasting time on meaningless conversations, unnecessary distractions, or shallow relationships. You become intentional about your time, your environment, and the people you allow into your life. You begin to value your own growth more than the need for external approval. And as you do this, something incredible happens. You start to see results, your mindset strengthens, your confidence grows, your skills improve, and you become more disciplined. And all of this happens without the need for validation from others, because you are no longer relying on outside opinions to define your progress. It is important to understand that people will always have something to say. If you are struggling, they will talk. If you are succeeding, they will talk. If you change, they will talk. If you stay the same, they will still talk. So, why waste energy trying to please people who will never be satisfied? Why explain yourself to those who are not even invested in your growth? The moment you stop explaining yourself, you take back your power. You realize that you do not owe anyone an explanation for the way you choose to live your life. You do not need permission to grow. You do not need approval to evolve. You simply need to commit to your own journey and trust that the results will speak for themselves. People often underestimate the power of working in silence. They feel the need to constantly share their plans, to let others know what they are working on, to seek validation for their efforts. But the most successful individuals understand that true power lies in privacy. When you are quiet about your progress, no one can interfere with your vision, no one can discourage you, no one can plant doubt in your mind, and no one can sabotage what they do not know about you. Are in full control of your journey, and that is where real strength comes from. Success is not about making noise, it is about making progress. It is about waking up every day with a purpose, setting goals, and taking consistent action without the need for applause. It is about staying focused, even when no one is watching, even when no one is supporting you, even when the results are not immediate. Because success is a long game. It requires patience, discipline, and unwavering commitment. Those who make the biggest impact are not the ones who announce their every move, but the ones who remain dedicated behind the scenes until the results are undeniable. And when the results start to show, something interesting happens the same. People who once doubted you, who questioned your abilities, who underestimated your potential, they start to take notice. They start to wonder how you did it, how you managed to grow, how you transformed while they remained the same. Some will admire you, some will envy you, and some will try to bring you down, but by then you will have outgrown their opinions. You will have built something greater, an unshakable mindset, a solid foundation, and a level of success that cannot be ignored. You must remember that your life is yours to create. You are not here to live according to the expectations of others. You are not here to explain your every move. You are here to grow, to evolve, and to become the best version of yourself. And the only way to do that is to stop seeking approval, to stop explaining yourself, and to focus entirely on your own path. The people People who are meant to be in your life will support you, regardless the ones who question you, doubt you, or try to hold you back were never meant to be a part of your journey in the first place. The most powerful thing you can do is to focus on yourself, stay consistent, and let your success be your response. When you do this, you do not need to argue with anyone, you do not need to convince anyone, you do not need to explain anything. The results will be loud enough, your transformation will be proof enough, and in the end, the only thing that will matter is that you stayed true to yourself, trusted the process, and never allowed the opinions of others to dictate your journey. There is a power in focusing on yourself that most people will never understand. It is a quiet, unstoppable force that transforms you from the inside out. When you decide to channel your energy into self-improvement rather than seeking validation or approval from others, you step into a version of yourself that is stronger, wiser, and more resilient. You stop worrying about what people think. You stop trying to prove yourself to those who don't even care, and you begin to rise in ways that will leave everyone around you in shock. The truth is, most people live their lives trying to fit in, trying to impress, and trying to gain the acceptance of others. But the moment you break free from that cycle and redirect all that energy towards your own personal growth, you become unstoppable. The journey of self-focus is not always easy. It requires discipline, consistency, and an unwavering commitment to becoming better. It means waking up every day with the mindset that your only competition is who you were yesterday. It means eliminating distractions, cutting off toxic relationships, and prioritizing your goals over momentary pleasures. It means saying no to things that do not serve your growth, even when it is uncomfortable. And as you do this, something incredible begins to happen. People start to notice, at first, they may doubt you, they may mock your silence, your discipline, and your dedication. But as time passes, as the results of your hard work begin to show, they will have no choice but to take notice. People will always have opinions, but their opinions do not pay your bills. They do not build your future, and they do not determine your worth. Too many people waste their potential trying to please others, constantly explaining themselves, constantly seeking validation, but those who truly succeed in life understand one fundamental truth. Silence is power when you stop talking and start doing. You separate yourself from the crowd. You no longer need to convince anyone of your worth because your actions speak louder than any words ever could. One of the biggest reasons people fail to reach their full potential is that they spend too much time explaining themselves to people who do not even care. They waste energy trying to justify their dreams, trying to gain approval, and trying to make others understand their vision. But the harsh reality is not everyone will understand your journey, and that is okay. Your path is yours alone. It is not meant to be understood by everyone. The sooner you accept this, the sooner you can free yourself from the burden of seeking external validation and focus entirely on building the life you desire. Focusing on yourself does not mean isolating yourself or becoming selfish. It means prioritizing your own growth so that you can become the best version of yourself. It means setting boundaries, protecting your energy, and refusing to let negativity distract you from your purpose. When you do this, you naturally begin to attract the right people, the right opportunities, and the right experiences into your life. The energy you put out into the world changes, and people start to see you differently. You no longer need to chase approval because your presence alone commands respect. Success is not about being the loudest in the room. It is about being the most disciplined, the most focused, and the most consistent. It is about waking up every day and putting in the work even when no one is watching. It is about staying committed to your goals even when you do not see immediate results. The most successful people in the world did not get there by talking about their plans. They got there by executing them relentlessly. They did not waste time explaining themselves to people who doubted them. They let their success be the answer. When you shift your focus inward, your entire perspective on life changes. You stop comparing yourself to others because you realize that your only competition is the person in the mirror. You stop seeking approval because you understand that your worth is not determined by external validation. You stop getting distracted by negativity because you are too busy building a future that excites you, and the moment you start seeing results, the same people who once doubted you will be the ones asking how you did it. The greatest revenge is success, not by proving people wrong with words, but by proving them wrong with your results, by becoming so focused on your own growth, that you no longer care about their opinions, by building a life so strong that their doubts, their negativity, and their judgment no longer affect you when you commit to your own journey, when you trust the process, and when you refuse to let anything or anyone distract you. You become a force that cannot be stopped. The road to self-mastery is not an easy one, but it is the most rewarding path you can take. It requires sacrifice, discipline, and an unshakable belief in yourself. There will be days when you feel like giving up, when the progress seems slow and when the world feels against you, but those are the moments that separate those who succeed from those who don't, those who push through, who keep going. Despite the challenges, who refuse to let doubt take over, those are the ones who rise to the top. Your time is too valuable to be wasted on meaningless opinions, on negative people, and on unnecessary distractions. Every moment you spend explaining yourself to someone who does not matter is a moment you could have spent building your future. Every ounce of energy you waste trying to prove something to people who will never support you is energy that could have been used to invest in yourself. The sooner you realize this, the sooner you can take back your power and focus entirely on your own journey in the end. The only thing that matters is that you stayed true to yourself, that you did not let the opinions of others dictate your path, that you did not waste time explaining yourself when you could have been taking action, that you trusted the process, remained focused, and let your results do the talking, because when the results speak, the world listens. And when you focus on yourself, you will shock everyone, not because you set out to prove them wrong, but because you proved yourself right. There is a moment in life when you must make a decision to either continue living the way others expect you to, or to take full control of your own path. The day you choose to focus on yourself, something remarkable happens. You start to reclaim your energy, your time, and your power. You no longer live for the approval of others, and you stop explaining yourself to those who will never truly understand you. The world has conditioned people to seek validation, to conform, and to stay within the limits set by society, but the ones who rise above, the ones who truly transform their lives, are the ones who decide to break free from these limitations and focus entirely on their own journey. When you focus on yourself, you begin to see life from a different perspective. You stop worrying about what others think, and you realize that most people are too consumed with their own lives to truly care about yours. The opinions, the criticisms, the doubts, they all become irrelevant. What matters most is your growth, your goals, and your vision. Every second spent explaining yourself is a second taken away from your progress. Every ounce of energy wasted on pleasing others is energy that could have been invested in becoming the best version of yourself. People will always, they have something to say whether you succeed or fail. So why waste time trying to convince them? Let your results be the proof. The most powerful people in the world are those who do not seek external validation. They understand that success is not about proving others wrong, but about proving themselves right. They do not waste energy arguing or justifying their decisions. Instead, they channel every bit of their focus into becoming stronger, WIER, and more disciplined. They wake up every day with a purpose, knowing that their only competition is the person they were yesterday. They are too busy working on themselves to care about the distractions that hold most people back. There is a difference between those who talk about success, and those who actually achieve it. The ones who succeed do not waste time announcing their plans or seeking approval before they take action. They simply do the work. They stay silent, they stay focused, and they let their results speak for themselves. And when those results begin to show, the same people who once doubted them are left in shock. They wonder how you did it, how you transformed, how you became the person they never expected you to be. But what they do not realize is that it all started the moment you decided to stop explaining yourself and started focusing on yourself. Discipline is the key to self-transformation. It is the ability to keep going even when no one is watching, even when there are no immediate results, even when the path is uncertain. Most people quit before they see success because they expect instant gratification. They want results without effort, rewards without sacrifice. But those who truly succeed understand that progress takes time. They trust the process, they remain patient, and they keep pushing forward, no matter what. And as they do, they begin to separate themselves from the crowd. They no longer seek shortcuts or quick fixes. They embrace the journey, knowing that every step they take is bringing them closer to their goals. Focusing on yourself is not selfish. It is necessary. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot give to others if you have not built yourself first. The best thing you can do for the people around you is to become the strongest, most capable version of yourself when you elevate yourself. You inspire others to do the same, but this only happens when you stop explaining yourself. Stop seeking approval and start putting yourself first. There will always be people who misunderstand you, who question your decisions, who try to pull you back into the version of yourself that they were comfortable with, but you must resist the temptation to stay in a place that no longer serves your growth. You must be willing to walk alone, to trust yourself, and to keep moving forward even when no one believes in you. The truth is, most people are afraid of change. They fear what they do not understand, and they resist what makes them uncomfortable when you begin to transform. When you start focusing on yourself and refusing to explain your every move, some people will not like it. They will try to guilt you into staying the same. They will accuse you of being different, distant, or selfish. But remember this, their reaction is not about you, it is about them. Your growth reminds them of their own stagnation. Your progress highlights their lack of discipline. Your success forces them to confront their own fears. And insecurities do not let their discomfort stop you from moving forward. The moment you stop explaining yourself, you take back your power. You no longer seek permission to be great. You no longer feel the need to justify your dreams, your ambitions, or your choices. You understand that your life is yours to build, and no one else has the right to dictate how you live it. You become unstoppable, not because you are seeking revenge or trying to impress anyone, but because you are fully aligned with your purpose, and when you live with purpose, everything else falls into place. The greatest revenge is massive success, not by trying to prove anything to others, but by proving to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever imagined, by showing up every single day, by staying consistent, by refusing to quit when things get tough. Your success will shock the world. Not because you set out to impress anyone, but because you became so focused on your own growth that nothing else mattered. The people who once doubted you will be forced to acknowledge your progress. The ones who ignored you will start paying attention. The ones who criticized you will be left speechless, and by then you will be too far ahead to even care. At the end of the day, your life is your responsibility. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to do the work for you. It is up to you to take control, to stay focused, and to build the life you desire. Stop explaining yourself. Stop seeking approval. Stop wasting time on people who do not matter. Instead, focus on yourself. Put in the work and let your success do in the talking. Because when you do that, the world will have no choice but to watch in shock as you rise. The key to true transformation lies in your ability to focus on yourself without the need for validation or approval from others. When you stop explaining yourself and start putting all your energy into your growth, discipline, and purpose, you become unstoppable. People will doubt you, misunderstand you, and even try to hold you back, but their opinions do not define your destiny. The moment you take full control of your journey, commit to your vision, and refuse to be distracted by unnecessary noise, you set yourself apart from the rest. Success is not about proving others wrong. It is about proving to yourself, what you are truly capable of. Stay focused, stay disciplined, and let your results speak for themselves. In the end, your progress will shock everyone, not because you sought to impress them, but because you became so committed to your own growth that nothing else mattered. When you focus inward, the world outside begins to align with your inner strength. Thank you for listening, and subscribe, comment on the channel,